Good morning, guys. Let's get down to it. It's Thursday. We are through the insanity that was yesterday. Wednesday was the hump day of hump days, but now we can get back down to it. Hopefully, things are back to some level of normalcy. We see a market that's happy and ready to head into the end of the week. Interesting. Facial recognition technology is being pulled by Amazon. Wonder what this does. Oh, is it that? Yeah, we're just getting rolling here, so I'm gonna pull up Koifin and see what we're looking at. Dow's down. Nasdaq's barely up. Asian markets are showing a little bit of green. Oil's showing a little bit of green, but nothing's looking too solid. I'm not a big fan of buying anything that's tied to the Chinese government. Um, Super risky. Super risky. And I understand what Baba is, and is there opportunity there? Maybe, but you also stand the risk of the Chinese government just seizing everything. So, Guten Morgen, Herr. What's up, Techie? All right, let's see what we're doing. Pull open the charts, molecular. What else we got? Velocidin? Nope. FDA approvals. All right, what else we got here? Orphan drug designation. Haven't heard about Delmar for a few weeks. It's looking like it's up to something. Potential COVID play. People talking about Sorrento again. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why, good morning, Freezer. This is why I love getting past Wednesday. Because yesterday morning, I hopped in here and there was nothing. There was no news. Nobody drops news on Wednesday. Thing is just absolutely a cricket zone. MFA. Oh, full screen. Yeah, sorry. There we go. Ford's looking at dropping an electric F-150. That's going to be big for all you Nikola players out there. All right, guys, let's go to the portfolio details, see any changes. I did exit a couple of positions yesterday. Um, my MRKR position I did pull out of. It just wasn't making the move, and I needed that to get into something else. Casey Finn, 18-year-old, literally brand new stocks, just trying to gain some knowledge. Quite a bit to invest, just unsure what to do. The best thing that you could do is start to understand the market itself. So um, don't just dive in right away. Try to understand what the market is doing. Um, the next step would be for you to go out and find yourself, depending on where you are, US or Canada, find a platform that's reliable. Do some groundwork, understand that. Honestly, take a quarter, take 3 months and study. And I know that nobody wants to do that, but if you take that 3 months to study, you will not suffer such egregious losses in the market. Um, it's going to be to your credit that first 3 months. Um, the only reason why I say we'll get to the Ford F-150 electric when we get there, but yeah, KC Finn, the best thing to do is study for 3 months before you head in. Understand how the market moves, what moves it, why it moves. Really focus on single industry, and then start playing. Get in there. Okay, let's see here. Molecular MBRX. Yeah, definitely. It's not a race. Um, and you got to figure out how you trade yourself, right? Um, you're gonna create your own trading style for sure, Casey. What am I looking at here? This is stuff from yesterday. Okay, molecular. So MBRX is one of the long holds that I've got, guys. Just seeing. This is just this financial crap that's not worth anything. This is technical analysis. It's probably going to be a big day for CLVS. They've got a complete group for their COVID phase three, or cancer phase three, ovarian cancer phase three. So CLVS will go on my watch list for today. Mark. Mark's going to take a little bit of. I mean, Keytruda can be used for so much stuff, guys. So much. That it loses one designation, I don't know that's a huge big deal. Three drug stocks that could soar. Endo, yeah, I know that one. Mylan, TXMD. That may be a play. NDP. Okay, so this flu board is backing this drug. AVM 0703. Made by. Private company. Also a private company. So can't do anything. Hmm. Why did this pop up for ACRX? I'm confused. This article popped on mention of ACRX. I don't see ACRX in here. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. This is on the news of the Momentum merger. That's fine. Delmar. Hmm. All equity, no cash. That's not a bad deal. This is definitely a 12-month play, but there's something here for sure. We played Delmar for a win earlier this year. I think there's more potential there now. Orphan drug status to Agios Pharmaceuticals. Oh, come on. AGIO. So this would be an options play more than an equity play, depending on the size of your portfolio. Excuse me. Okay, RDHL, phase 2-3 study. This is a COVID play. So what's happening with Red Hill is they're actually moving outside the U.S., which is interesting. They recognize the U.S. has picked their favorites, and they're gonna try Russia, see if Russia is interested. 141 subjects have been dosed. 6 patients dosed, all showed improvements. Even less oxygen. So it got them off of the ventilators. My thoughts on Powell's speech yesterday were I've never seen Powell flustered at the mic. Ever, ever, ever. And yesterday I saw Powell flustered on the mic, which caused me some concern. Caused me some concern. Here's a guy who has been steady pretty much throughout this, but as the reporters and journalists started to question what his forecasts were looking like, why he felt that the economy was headed the way that it did, he started to crumble, and that's not common of Powell. Um, so it wasn't quite the overwhelming confidence that I expected from him. I expected something. I expected more. I was disappointed. Um, Um, this and this. Um, could Sorrento be a millionaire maker? So what this is saying is you are betting entirely on Sorrento's claims around their COVID drug to be true if you want Sorrento to win. Not on my list. MFA. Um, I'm not a huge fan of crypto. I know there's a lot of people out there that are big fans that really like it. For me, it's not a product that I'm too hot on. There is a digital product coming up that is based on global economies as opposed to scarcity of the cryptocurrency itself. That's more appealing to me. I need it based in the real world somehow, and digital computations doesn't count for me. So the digital one that's coming up is going to be a cryptocurrency that is tethered to the four Asian economies that it's a part of. So Singapore, Taiwan, China, and Japan. That's appealing to me. I might take a look at that, but otherwise, I'm not too hot on crypto. I'm not saying there's not money to be made there. I'm saying it's just a financial product that I'm not interested in. Um, what is the SPY doing pre-market here? 312. So the SPY didn't like what Powell had to say yesterday either. It's interesting. People are all firing shots at GameStop, but it was up yesterday. Yeah, it was up. It opened at 480 and it closed at 507. So it's very interesting to see the press around this of it performed poorly. Ford Circles 2022. So why this is big, guys? The Ford thing is the Nikola Badger is using the F-150 as its comparable. Okay, and it's saying we are better than the F-150 because we are all electric essentially. It doesn't really have much to offer in the way of. I mean, there are some bold claims as to its horsepower. But I would like to see if people who have been buying F-150s from Ford for 30 years go to look for a vehicle, would they go back to Ford because it has an electric 150, F-150, or would they go to Nikola? Would they go to somebody new? Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, GME is one of those outliers where I'm happy to stand against all of the critics. Um, if we pull up tip ranks here, I'll show you. I don't think there's anybody that agrees with me that this thing is a buy. Michael Burry's the only other guy out there I know that's saying buy it. Yeah, nobody. Nobody likes this thing. Well, that's just it. I think the truckers say Ford too. I don't see the trucking community going, yeah, I'll give Nikola a shot. That's why this is big. Because I don't know that Nikola actually built the truck till 2022. So if Ford can get it done, I think that they undercut Nikola and Nikola is in trouble again. This has got to be boring for these guys to just cut, copy, and paste these financial statements over and over and over again. Like this is clearly a template that they fill out. Like, okay, well, just put this in, just put this in, just put all this data in, but don't actually offer any insights into what that data means. Just put it out there. Oh, close something I didn't want to close. Oh no, that's fine. Projected to grow by 146% or more. Well, that would be nice. All right, what's going on out in the market? So S&P's down pre-market, Nasdaq's down, everybody's down. Unilever makes second attempt at unification. Sorrento rallies on emergency use application for COVID track. Let's move this to the end. Just keep things kind of organized here. Okay, guys, stay away from this. If you see a pharma company IPOing, yeah, that's it. And that's a hard thing. I understand that's a hard thing for a lot of people, especially when you're on Twitch. I understand the gaming community is not a huge fan of GameStop. However, it it has an interesting model. It does, and its ability to do that online of people selling what they've already got and reselling it has some potential. This will be interesting for Amazon today. I want to take a look at that. Disneyland's reopening. That'll be interesting. Ouch. Okay. So Amazon has revoked access to police forces to use their recognition tool for facial recognition. Tool's called Recognition with a K. Um, it's a 1 year moratorium. Human trafficking organizations will still be able to use it. It's just the police force that won't be able to use it. So that's interesting. IBM is completely moving out of facial recognition. Downtown Disney District, July 9th. By July 17th, it will all be open. They're going to control crowds by reservation. Good morning, Kevin Bartley. Thoughts on CD, EV, and TUP? Okay, so let's head to CD, UV, EV. Centennial Resource Development. Hmm. They had a massive sale fall through just recently. They missed by a dollar. This thing is a garbage fire, is my opinion. They missed by a huge amount. Insider buying. Hmm? So insider buying can often be a tool that is used in order to give investor confidence. So you have to be careful when you look at insider buying. Um, so when we look at insider buying, 24 days ago, okay, so there's about one, two, four, six and six is 12, but $12 million worth of shares bought by the director, who's already over a 10% owner. And then 3 days ago, there was a little bit of a buy for only 50K. Um, so 24 million bought over the last 3 months. Let's take a look at the analysis. Underperform on the analysis. Analysts have $1.50 high on this thing. It's already at $1.50. Floggers, positive, steer clear. So it's about a 50-50. But this is Zach's. It's from 9 months ago, though. That's not exactly updated news. So let's see what's going on with CDEV lately. News. It's never good to see your name paired with Chesapeake. So their debt to equity ratio is looking a little bit better. Yeah, I think Disney's gonna have a good day today. I think on that news. In other words, our balance sheet issues to deal with Denbury and Centennial doesn't even take into consideration their individual business operations, the broader energy market effects, some of the oil and natural gas commodities. I would stay away from this. I would stay away from this. I don't see anything that is appealing with CDEV. I would stay away. That insider buying doesn't mean squat to me. That's a director buying it up. That's somebody who's directly tied to the company trying to pump it before its earnings to get people hyped, and it didn't work. It's down another 14% pre-market here. I would stay away from CDEV. That's just my opinion. Do your own due diligence on it. But my opinion is, in my own portfolio, I would not take CDEV. I had a 12-month forecast in May of 130 for Disney. So what I see happening is I see it going back up a little bit, and then Q4, as we see a resurgence into flu season, as we see COVID come back, we'll see Disney go back down, and then the Marvel movies and whatever else will come out, and it'll come back up, and I think we'll see a 130. Now, 150 by the end of July. Disney right now is sitting at 122. I would say again that 130 is a lot more appealing to me than 150. In my opinion, completely my opinion, and I guess I should throw this up for the day because I haven't yet. General disclaimer, guys, I am not a financial advisor in any way, shape, or form. I'm a DGen just like you. I'm out here trying to figure things out. Do your own due diligence, please, guys, please. Um, what I throw out to you guys is entirely opinion based. It's what I see. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not always right. So you guys could end up completely differing in opinion on. Okay, so Tupperware. Um, Tupperware is an interesting one. Everybody's got a million Tupperwares in their house. I don't know who is still buying Tupperwares. People have a hold on this with a 290 price target. Yeah, I would stay away from Tupperware as well in my own portfolio. Yeah, they are stocks that have fallen, and I understand why people might be looking at them. Of like they've had a pretty drastic fall. Is there some ability for us to recoup something on it? The same could be true of stocks like MFA, right? Like MFA has had this massive drop from 8. Does it have the ability to recoup? Um, Time will tell. Time will tell. And I mean, that's it. Your mom loves Tupperware, but your mom already has 1,000 of the things, and she's not buying any new ones anytime soon, right? So, and you can go to the grocery store now and buy Ziploc containers for a fraction of the price. You can go to the dollar store now and buy Ziploc containers for a fraction of the price. So it's like, well, do you really need Tupperware? Not a lot of demand, so Caterpillar is keeping plants closed. I think that's generally good news, guys. I know that when we see plant closures, typically our knee jerk reaction is, oh, that's going to be bad for the company. But in reality, I think it's a good thing. When you delay it opening back up, you're cutting costs, you're cutting labor, you're cutting all kinds of stuff, right? Unsold inventory. Right, right. That's just it. People go everywhere else for this stuff. So Caterpillar's down. Ford recalls 2.1. Kevin, what do you think of MRO? What is it that you're seeing in the MRO that you like? I'll definitely peel into it. I'm just going to get through this, but throw into chat what you like about MRO, why you're looking at it, what has you interested about it. I always love to get a bit more of the back and forth on it. So if you give me a bit of an insight into what it is that you like about MRO, I'll take that into consideration when I get to it. So Ford recalling 2.15 million vehicles because of a faulty latch. That's bad news. Ford just can't get a break. Grubhub talks leave Uber frustrated. Yeah. So Grubhub apparently is talking to another company. Where is it? Just Eat. Just Eat's proposal. It looks like Grubhub and Just Eats is what's going to happen, and um, Uber's going to be left out to dry. So Uber's going to take another hit on this. Um, this new company, this Just Eat Takeaway and Grubhub, is going to be an interesting beast. Um, the reason why Grubhub is leaning towards takeaway.com is on the basis of Kevin, I don't understand what you mean by value. You mean there's value in its holdings, there's value in the stock, there's value in the community, there's value in its guidance. What aspect of MRO's business? Well, and I think that's the other thing, Harlatus, is that Just Eat being big in Europe allows Grubhub to diversify outside of its largely US market, right? Now they become an international entity instead of just a US based entity. And they're tired of fighting with Uber for New York. Um, that was one of the reasons why I really liked Waiter Guys, was because it wasn't fighting for New York or California. It went, you guys have those. Well, there's all these other states. We're going to be in these southern states instead. There's a whole country here. That's where we're going to live. That's where we're going to be. Um, okay. So that's good insight, Kevin. That helps. So give me 2 seconds here. Sorrento rallies is up 21% pre-market on the heels from FDA review COVID track in vitro diagnostics. So this has nothing to do with their vaccination. This is another test kit. I don't care about that. Model 3s, Tesla's gonna have a good day. Okay, so MRO. MRO is yeah, no. So I typically play stocks in this area as well. There is high potential for growth if you do your due diligence for sure, but you can also get burned in a big way. Big way. So um TUP, CDEV, I'm not sure I would go near. I wouldn't go near personally. MRO. So MRO is one that I've played in the past and taken a profit on. I actually just cleared out some options on it that made me a decent chunk of cash when it went up like this spike. I got out on the spike. Um, so when it shot up like this, my options were in a position of quite a bit of profitability. So, if you are looking at MRO, you should be looking at it on the. If you buy it, it is not going to be a quick flip for you. Okay. It is not going to be an overnight return. Um, it's going to be a while before this gets back up to where it was. And that's because the oil industry just still has no indication as to where it's going. People are making promises, then not following through. We see countries lighting up their industry again. Yeah, it this bad boy here. If I was to play this, I would say on a 12-month, my projection on it would probably be about. I mean, let's go to the big sheet. MRO 1 year. That clearly is the wrong MRO. Okay. It looked pretty stable in this area. I would say in that channel there. So in a year, I would say anywhere from 1150. Is kind of what I'm looking at. Huge shout out, guys, for everybody that's dropping the follows and stuff. Um, Greatly appreciate that, guys, especially those of you that are up at 5 in the morning here doing this insanity with me. So huge thank you for the follows and subscribes. You guys make this worth going live at these crazy hours for sure. There are gains possible, but the thing is, so this is one of the things that if you are newer to the market that I want you to consider is every single day there are gains, okay? So every day there are gains to be had. The question is what style of trader you're going to be. Are you going to be somebody that's a day trader? You're looking to make the money on the day. Are you somebody that's going to be trading more on the week? How about the quarter? What about the year? What about the 5 year? What about the 10 year? What about the 20 year? If you are young, I'm talking 30 and under, okay? If you're under 30, if I could go back and be 20, an options portfolio, a dividend portfolio, a drip portfolio would be what I look at. And I'll show you guys why here real quick. And for those of you that have seen this before, just bear with me. It never hurts to go back through and revisit solid principles. So here's a breakdown that we did a little while back on MFA when it was down at $1.58. Okay. And this is what a breakdown of a drip portfolio would look like. Oh, you're 40. Okay. Well, 40 is a different beast. So for those of you that are young, you want to look at a drip portfolio. Find high yield stocks that look stable and have been around forever and paid out dividends forever. Just because at the end of the day, you're gonna win on that. I'll skip to the end on that because you're 40. If you're 40, you still ultimately are looking at 20 years before retirement. So you could still probably play. Okay, 401 was your only investment. So you're a US investor. So day trading is out for you because you're not going to be a PD. You're going to fall under PDT. You don't want to day trade. So you're looking at plays. I would recommend that you're looking at plays on the quarter as you're starting to build out your portfolio, okay? Actually, I can't make it that recommendation. I can't. I'm not qualified to make a recommendation. In my opinion, so I mean, we're roughly the same age. I'm 35, you're 40. We're pretty darn close here. My what my portfolio looks at is I'm typically looking at a couple of quarters out. So 6 to 18 months is what I play. And that allows me enough time to allow stocks to move to where I want them to. I try to stay out of options plays as much as possible. And really what I'm focusing on is long equity. So take stocks long. Forget about shorting stocks. Forget about options. Forget about all that stuff. It is my motto. Just because with equity, what I found is if you were wrong about the timing on a movement, you can wait. So, for example, yesterday I got into MFA, and then it dropped from my entry. It dropped significantly. I think I got in around 280 something. Pre-market today, it's down to 247, right? So for me, it's like, okay, well, I'm already down on that stock. Should I exit quickly and get back in, or what should I do with this thing? And for me, it's like, well, no, I'm not. It's not a race. Well, it is a race, but it's not a sprint. This thing is a marathon. Just wait. So when I'm looking at MFA, I go, okay, well, yeah, I'm talking it's down 30 cents. However, here's the 10-year chart, right? Like, go to the big sheet on it. MFA over 10 years. Oh, that's the day. 10 years. Look at how stable that thing is. Over 10 years. Do I think this reflects this? No. Oh, you can't see. Dag nabbit. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Now you can see, right? Now we're looking at the same thing. Um, Whoop. There we go. Okay. So, now you guys can see. Look at how stable that is. Over 10 years. It just boop, 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 boop. Right here. Every time I hit this 630 line, just bounces back up and went around to this $8 line and then just kind of chilled, right? This is not reflective of this. I think this is fighting hard to come back up to where it belongs. So I'm willing to wait the 12 months for that to happen. With the news yesterday out of Powell that we can expect to see more investment into mortgage-backed securities, MFA is well poised for that. I'm okay. I'm okay with MFA on that. But I'm looking to wait now. I will just wait. Um, I'm still on alpha. um, yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on that. But the other thing you want to do is exactly what we do here. So somebody throw out a stock. Anybody throw out a stock. Random stock. Doesn't matter what it is. Nobody's got a stock. Nobody's got a ticker. SJM, perfect. SJM is one I've never heard of, so this will be fun. I'll get to Coke after. I'll give you some insights. They all came. They all came late. Let's do Smuckers. Oh, this is fun. Okay, so let's do Smuckers, guys. So basically, what I do, what a due diligence looks like for me on Smuckers is I go, okay, first of all, what do they make? Okay, and don't just follow the assumption that you know what they make. Okay, so let's go to SJM in Google Smuckers. Okay, so I would have said Smuckers makes jam, right? That would have been my first go-to. But Smuckers makes more than that. Jam, peanut butter, fruit syrups, beverages, shortening, ice cream toppings, oils, other products. Okay, so what I want to do is head to the Smuckers website, SJM Holdings. No. Okay, brands. So Meow Mix, Kibbles and Bits, Milkbone, Jif, Folgers, Robin Hood, Crisco. These are good names, right? So now I'm looking at this and going, okay, I see their names, right? I see the products that they've got. And in my mind, I'm going, okay, where have I seen these products and how are they performing? I'm thinking grocery stores right away. And I think when I go to the grocery stores, I know that this stuff is sold out. I know that this stuff sells well. I know that coffee is all but sold out. I know shortening and baking supplies like Robin Hood, Crisco, those are all but sold out. Five Roses, that's flour. CA is Canada. That's right. That's me in Canada. But Smuckers as a whole, as a company, is going to be there. Um, but I'm just thinking for myself, like, where do I see these brands selling and are they sold out? And all of this baking stuff, this Crisco, this Five Roses, this Eagle brand, this Robin Hood, those are gone. They're not on the shelves, which means that they're selling like hotcakes, right? Like they're selling like crazy. My next thought is, okay, well, if that's true, if people are buying up all of this stuff like crazy right now, what is my forecast headed into Q4? And for those of you that have been in the channel, you know that I'm expecting to see some kind of a resurgence. Whether we go back into lockdown or not doesn't necessarily weigh in. What I do see happening is I do see us heading into a resurgence of COVID into Q4. Flu season will hit back up. I don't know that we will have a readily accepted vaccine. And so I think we will see a resurgence heading into Q4, Q1 of this year in COVID. With that, people will start to pick up their supplies again, which means that we can expect to see a very high level of sales on Smuckers. So with that said, what I want to look at is, okay, well, where are they? They're on a 52-week range. They're kind of in that 125 to 91. Okay. Next thing I want to do is head over here and let's throw SJM in here. So what I've done is I said, okay, what is the company? What do they sell? What are my forecasts? What do I think the market's going to do? How do those two things pair together, right? So for me, in my mind, I'm going, will people be buying staples, food staples in Q4? Absolutely. Notice that I'm already in Q4. I'm not looking at this month, next month, whatever. I'm not considering that. What I'm considering is Q4. That's how long I'm willing to wait for this to start to move. So what I do is I hop in here now and up we go. And it's come down a little bit, right? It's come down a little bit. So this is on the 10-year. Let's go to the year. Okay, so this is the low. This is the high. So it looks like in July they actually hit a bit of a peak. And then heading into October, November, December, when the rest of the stock market was going up, they declined. But now that sales are up, they're actually up above where they were when the market was at an all-time high. So they're actually overperforming right now. So the stock is down at 108. I'm expecting a resurgence. If this kind of growth is what we can see as people start to shore up and stock up and really fill their cupboards, I suspect that on the 12 month, I could probably give this a price range of 118 to 120 12 months from now. That's not Q4, but that's on the play and understanding that in Q4, I'm expecting people to stock up again. So it's 108 right now. I think 120, 118 would be reasonable. So somewhere in this area here. If that's true, the next thing that I want to do is I want to head back over to my browser and I want to go, okay, I'm saying 118, 120. Let's see what the people that do this professionally have to say, right? And if you guys are unfamiliar with this tool, this is TipRanks. I think that's the command that I programmed. Maybe not. Anyway, that'll take you to TipRanks, my portfolio link there. So TipRanks is a powerhouse tool, guys. I really love it for everything that it does. But I can head in here now and go, okay, Smuckers, let's take a look. So I said 118 to 120. Let's see what the analysts are saying. 115, 105, 121, 117, 120. So this guy's got a sell of 96. Okay. So here's an outlier. So typically what I want to do when I'm looking at these analysts is I will cut off the top analysts and I will cut off the bottom analysts. So 96, you're gone. 123, you're gone. And then I look at what's left. 119, 120, 115, 108. This one's kind of low. 120, 117, 121, 105, 115. So for me, what I'm kind of seeing is oh yeah, there it is. Does that do anything? Seems to be thinking really hard. There we go. So these are the plans, guys. This is so I have the full access. I've got the ultimate tool. I think it's worthwhile. If you're going to be trading long term, I highly recommend this. But you can get started with a basic and just get a kind of feel for the tool as far as the access goes. But back to Smuckers. So is my 118, 120 reasonable on this? I would say yes. Right now, it's sitting at 108, 107. So we've gone past this guy's target. I don't see it declining. I see it growing. So I honestly think that this 118, 120 range is reasonable. That's what my due diligence looks like. And then I make a trade off of that. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight into what my process is as I'm looking at this stuff. Now, this is consumer staples, okay? So I didn't need to do as much insight as I had originally thought. Um, COVID at the plants is a small risk. For the most part, they just close down the plant for a week, clean it, and come back. It doesn't really affect anything. If anything, it makes the demand higher on their products. So, and there's so many different products that it makes. It's probably got a hundred factories. Smucker's has been around for a while. They're a big beast. I think it kind of blinks at COVID. Fries W Box says this is interesting because even if the resurgence isn't as bad and we see more people going out to eat, restaurants, dessert places, coffee shops, the supply, we will need more product. That's true. So, when we're looking at resurgence, guys, let's go here. Word. No, not Word. I want Google Docs. Okay, COVID resurgence. Q4. Okay, I'll break this down for you guys and give you an insight into what I'm seeing. So in Q4, my hypothesis is that we will see flu season come. Flu season. We'll see COVID, no vaccine. We'll see Christmas. We'll see Thanksgiving, Black Friday. For those of you in the States. In Canada, our Thanksgiving's in October, so we're a little bit earlier, but you guys have it in November, so Thanksgiving's there. And semi lockdown. So for me, I think that people realize that the lockdown nearly killed the world, and we won't see as strict of a lockdown on a resurgence. We just won't. We can't afford to do what we did before. So my thoughts is that we see a semi-lockdown. Here's my hypothesis, okay? So in my mind, these are the factors that I'm looking at going into Q4. Now, I suppose I really should include this as well. Next-gen consoles is kind of big news. Okay, so if this is true, let's say that I'm not completely insane. Right. So let's say I'm not completely insane here. What are different products? Forget brands. We're not at brands yet. Let's think about, oh, put companies. That's my fault. Products. What are different products that we see from each of these things coming into effect if these are true? So starting with flu season, what are we going to see? Well, we're going to see stuff like Kleenex. We're going to see stuff like Robitussin, cold and flu meds. We're going to see a lot more prescription meds. We're going to see increase in hospital use. Vaccines, Clorox, yeah, Clorox, absolutely. Feel free to throw stuff out here, guys, if you guys can think of stuff that goes with this. So flu season, what other stuff do you think we could need for that? I'm not going anywhere on MBRX. MBRX was a play on a 12-month schedule for me. So if you don't hear me talk about it, it's just because there's no news right now. But MBRX is looking as strong as it ever has. Yeah, looking as strong as it ever has. Okay, Coke. So with Coke, Coke is for me a dying brand. And my insight on Coke is this: how many people out there are regularly drinking sugary products? It's declining. It's declining in a big way. There was an interview on Bloomberg with the CEO of Coke, and even he's acknowledging they have to move out of the soft drink and they have to really start to get inventive and creative into their water products, into their energy drink products, into other products. They're seriously looking at cannabis drinks. Coke has to evolve. They're at the point where I did look at IDEX Cybot. I'm not a huge fan. I know it had a massive pump there, but it's not something that I think I would play. Um, I looked at it yesterday actually when you mentioned it, and well, it did have a great rise. I'm a little bit hesitant about its medical pipeline. So, rice. Okay, so this is the next one, right? COVID, no vaccine, right? Rice, flour, food staples. People start to stock up, right? Toilet paper. I know I love Warren Buffett, I do, but Warren Buffett was in airlines too before he pulled out because when he recognizes that the market doesn't need the whatever it is that he holds, he moves out of it. Coke for now he's okay with, but for me personally, I wouldn't start a position in Coke now. He already has a position in Coke. I definitely wouldn't start a position in Coke. Yeah, no, that's there. That's why I added next gen consoles. So we're gonna get there. So Christmas shopping, next gen consoles, those kind of go together. So PS5, whatever the new Xbox is. Yeah, food staples, eggs would be in food staples. Eggs, bread, milk, cheese, meat. That would all be in there. Okay, so Nvidia's got new cards coming out. These are companies more than anything else, but yeah. So electronic buying. There will be new Switches available. Um, you always have blockbuster movies come Christmas time, right? Blockbuster films. All the big movies come out around Christmas time. Um, Retail sector is going to do well. Crypto miners foam hit the math. Yeah, I don't have enough insight into that. Okay. Now what about the semi? What about a lockdown? Yeah. So waiter. Yeah. Wait. Companies like waiter. So food delivery would be in here. Okay. I think this is a decent list to start with. So from these products, let's look at the companies that we might want to look at to invest now, right? So for this food stuff, SJW, J&J, what's Procter and Gamble's thing? Procter, PG, PG, Campbell's. What's Campbell's? CPB, Tyson, right? TSN. Meat products, Beyond Meat for those that are in that Beyond Meat. Okay, so that's kind of like that food, drug, that kind of stuff, right? Abbott does the face masks on a possible resurgence. Vaccines, there's a long list of different companies doing vaccines, but some of the standbys would be Merck, BMY, SNY, AZN. Okay, entertainment, online gambling, DraftKings, Penn. We know Sony will be in here. We know that Microsoft will be in here. We'll know that Nintendo, which is TNDY. We know that. So with Riots, DGLY. We know with. MMM. Blockbusters. We're looking at Disney. Companies like Netflix, companies like Amazon Prime, companies like GME. Zynga. Yep. Yep. These are all good suggestions, guys. So this is a decent list. So now what you've done is, how long did that take us? 15, 20 minutes, right? This is just into Q4. It took us 15, 20 minutes. So this is our hypothesis, is that these things are going to happen. Now, some of these are 100% certain, right? Like this one is going to be happening for sure. This happens for sure, right? No. This happens for sure. Almost everything happens here for sure. The only ones that we're not sure about is the state of the lockdown, how severe it's going to be, and whether we'll have a vaccine. We know flu season is coming. We know Christmas shopping is coming. Black Friday's coming. Thanksgiving's coming. Next gen consoles are coming. So the question they have is, how likely is it that this hypothesis is going to come true? I would say it's about 90%. So 90% is pretty decent odds, right? Well, there may be an issue with Black Friday as far as that goes, but there will also be a lot of online shopping because people aren't going to want to risk that insanity, right? So either way, riots doesn't really play into it as much. That's why I put DGLY on here for the riots. But the hypothesis has about a 90% rate of being true. At a 90% rate of being true, these are just some of the products that we've mentioned here, but this is looking like a good list of companies to look at. So now you go in and break down this list and you take a look at all of them and go, okay, well, which ones of this look good to me based on how I process companies and how I do my due diligence and the kind of trades that I take. So for me, I trade long equity bio. Okay, so when I'm looking at this and going long equity bio, okay, so not Smuckers, not J&J. Well, J&J maybe. So this is a maybe for me. Procter and Gamble wouldn't be. CPB. No, 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 no. Okay, Abbott might be. Merck, BMY, SNY, AZN. Those would be. DraftKings, Penn, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, DGLY. None of these guys were really okay. So for me, I've gone through this list and gone, okay, well, these are the ones that I'm going to take a look at, right? So immediately I would throw those into a watch list to see where they're at. So use any tool that you want. You can put it in your trading dashboard. You can use tools like TipRanks or like ENDP. They've got a great watch list tool. So all you do is throw that into a watch list and say, okay, I'm going to keep my eye on these and see what they're up to, see what I can play with, right? And essentially what happens is now you're watching for an entry. You're looking for this thing to dip down and have a bad day so that you can enter in at your play. You guys would do the same thing. So let's say somebody is playing in the tech sector. They're a huge fan of tech, right? Okay, well, so for the tech sector, then you would be looking at more the DraftKings, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, DGLY, 3M, right? That Amazon maybe. Those would be your GME. Those would be your tech sectors, and you would watch those for entry and decide to get in. Now, you do the same thing that we do every morning as we break down each stock. Is what we do is we take a look at the company currently as it exists. We look at the 1 year chart on it. We take a look at what the latest news is. We take a look at what the analysts have to say about it, and then we come to our own conclusion of this is where it could potentially go, and is that growth warranted? Is that enough growth for me to sit on this till Q4 and beyond? That's the decision that, as far as my style of trading, I'm not a day trader, guys. So as far as my style of trading, that's how this process works for me. Hopefully that helps you guys get a little bit of insight into how I go about doing this. If somebody is new to the market, I'm always going to be of the opinion that this is a better way to go than you trying to chase stocks up and down one way or the other. Okay, that's just my thought on this. Questions, concerns, thoughts? No. Um, So there were people that wanted me to look at a couple of different things up here. Boeing, I wouldn't go anywhere near. I'm very hesitant that Boeing is going to. My opinion on Boeing is that their 37 Max is not going to get approved. Um, Mark, I've heard Mark come up a few times actually in the past couple of weeks. Remark Holdings misses, but only by a little. This is not so bad. That's a decent sized contract in 2019. Not a lot of news on this, guys. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Um, there's not a lot of news on this with Mark, and that's concerning because if you look at the 1 year, they kind of just drift here. They don't really. They got a little bit of news in December, and it didn't really do much, right? They secure a small contract that's not even $1 million. Um, so is this warranted? Sold Vegas.com for $45 million back in March. At one point, this was an $11 stock. March 2019. So this uptick here is $45 million, and then a decline again. This is unprecedented growth on what? I don't see it. ADA. Let's take a look at it. ADA. Cardano USD. Oh, this is crypto. Uh, I really don't have insights into crypto. Uh, like I had mentioned before, guys, crypto is outside of my sector. I am not a huge fan of a currency that's not tied to physical assets. Digital computation is not a physical asset. The only crypto coin that I am seriously taking a look at is the digital yuan, because the digital yuan will be tied to the national economies of China, Japan, Singapore, and Taiwan. Um, so yeah, crypto I can't really help you with. I have no idea. It's completely out of my wheelhouse. I couldn't even give an opinion on it because I'm completely I'm beyond a noob in that. I have no idea what that looks like. Government contractors like LMT. So LMT is a very powerful buy. Okay, guys, this is one of those ones that if you were going to create one of those drip portfolios that we're talking about, Lockheed's going to be around forever. Weapons are not disappearing, and if weapons do disappear, they're disappearing on the basis of the entire global society is gone, and you're all dead anyway. Um, Lockheed's not going anywhere. Yes, they've got government contracts, they've got private contracts, they're internationally based. This is just a solid stock. So if you got in at Lockheed when it was down at this 276, good for you, because this is just a solid hold. It really is over 10 years, right? Just a solid hold. Yeah. So government contractors are nice. The one that I'm going to give you a warning about again is Boeing. This one is really concerning for me. Okay. We look at it over the 10 years. It was up around this $400 range, dipped down to here. Now we're sub 200 again, 189. They're saying late June for the recertification flight. I think Boeing stands. So there's a 4 year delay already on their $44 billion Air Force tanker program. Um, like it's just more and more bad news for Boeing. Um, so while they're doing a flight at the end of June, the FAA is not reaffirming the plane. You got in at 118, so you're vibing for now. Yeah. Just get out of the way. In my opinion, if I was holding this at 118, I probably would have exited it already. I'm super concerned about this failing. Um, WPRT. All right, guys, I'm just going to grab a top up on the water. I will be back in 60 seconds. So, I guess just like try to keep yourselves relatively entertained. If there's stocks that you guys want me to look at and break down, I will take a look at WTRH when I get back. I will take a look at whatever you guys throw out in there. So feel free to throw anything you want to take a look at. We can break it down, do a group think on it. Okay, guys. But I'll be right back. Okay, so WPRT is what we're looking at. We're looking at it because of analysts' insight. So WPRT. 3 days ago, buy. Wainwright, Oppenheimer, Lake Street. I'm not familiar with Lake Street. Okay, so the analysts are here on this. It's neutral. Analysts are strong buy. Bloggers are bullish. Tip rank investors are positive. Insiders bought. Yeah, WLL is not a huge fan. This has more of a play in cars. They took a hit on their earnings, so let's look at that. I want to take a look at why they took a hit on their earnings. So, guys, Edgar is another tool that I'm going to regularly recommend you use if you are an FA trader, if you're trading your fundamentals, you're trading the news, you want to know about stocks. Edgar is a tool that you want. Okay. So, Edgar is the SEC, U.S. Security and Exchange Commissions. You go in here, all you have to do is type in whatever it is you're looking at. So, in this case, it's WPRT. Westport Fuel Systems, fantastic. 6K, foreign issuer, this doesn't really matter. General statement of acquisition and beneficial ownership, I want to take a look at that. Okay, it's just a change in ownership. You'll learn what all these different filings are. What I'm looking for is their filing type. 10K. Wait, this is 2017. What? Where where are their earnings? If they're traded on the Nasdaq, they most certainly do. Yeah. Yeah, if they're traded on the Nasdaq, they are required to file. Okay, clean fuel systems. Hmm. Okay, question period. Okay, so questions about Italy and their involvement in Europe. Talking about China in 2020. Ooh, that's big. That's huge. They are confident that they will be moving into China and that they have what they need for the certification. So this is really important that they're moving into China because as we see Tesla moving their eco trucks in, it's going to be important to move to a place that doesn't care about that, and China's going to be it. Wow, this is really encouraging. They've passed every single test and certification they need to. Um, hmm. I think this goes on my list. This is um, WRPT. What is it? Why doesn't it show up? Or WPRT, WPRT, WPRT. I really like this. I really, really, really like this hair. I think there's a lot of potential here. They're not at the lowest they've been for the month, but they're definitely in a good spot. They're definitely in a good spot. That's a nice grab, man. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Let's head back. We're almost 6 o'clock here, so there should be some news coming in on stuff. Not really. Not a lot coming in. Um, let's head on over to StockTwits. Let's see what's trending here. JFin is back up. So JFin got pumped by the Robinhood contingent. Just so you guys know, I've started a Robinhood inversing paper account to test a strategy. Um, um, so basically, the way that it works is these positions were taken because I saw these stocks being the top pumps for the day. Nikola and Hertz were both pumped, so I took a short sell against them. This is just paper, guys. This is not a real count. But I took the top two stocks for the day from Robin Track. So uh, around lunchtime, I go into Robin Track. I go, okay, popularity changes. What were the top ones? Okay, so these were the top ones for the day. I like Tesla. I'm not going to play around with that, but Genus and JFin are here. So what I would do is go, okay, well, I would actually go to the hour. Um, Now it's got no changes because the market's not open right now. But what happens is when you go into this at lunchtime or just after lunchtime, you'll get to see what Robinhood's been trading for the day and what are the top increases or decreases for the day. All I did was take the top increases for the day on this day and on this day, took a short sell against them, and then came back the next day. And when I did that, this started as a $100,000 account on Monday. It's already up to 170,000. 3 days. 3 days, I've almost doubled, almost 100% increase in 3 days using the strategy. So it's an interesting strategy. I'm not sold that it's locked in yet. I'm not currently in any positions on this. I'll look to take some shorts again today. We'll see how it does. But the reality is, this may be a potential play. And this is pretty easy. This is a no brainer strategy. So we'll see how it develops. Thoughts on the CCL class action lawsuit? So, big companies like this get class action lawsuits all the time. One of the things that you want to look at is who is filing the lawsuit. So, when you type in CCL lawsuit, one, two, three, everybody's trying to file lawsuits. The big thing that you want to see is somebody who's willing to come forward as the lead plaintiff. And none of these have these announcements. Looming deadline, class action. Shareholders with losses in their investment to contact them. Lead plaintiff needed. These guys are ambulance chasers. Unless they actually get a lead plaintiff that has valid legal repercussions against the company, I wouldn't sweat it. Would not sweat it. So I'll keep you guys up to date on what's going on with that Robinhood inverse. I'm just trying to see if we're seeing any kind of a move here. Really? ACRX isn't on this watch list? How is that possible? Deep insight. These bulls are hilarious on here. These bulls are hilarious. Okay. Big movers. Starbucks is down on news of them closing all those stores. Ultimately, that will be good for Starbucks. Not seeing a lot of red here, or not seeing a lot of green here, guys. I'm seeing a lot of red. This is a red board for top movers pre-market so far. Um, Neo's pricing 72 million shares at 595, so expect Neo to decline today. Let's see where Neo's at. Yeah, I'd say there's a little bit of a price movement to the downside on this one. 590 area. See this come down to around 6. Here are the top winners from yesterday. Wins Finance, Chinese FinTech. I would stay away from this. So these are kind of great. Again, guys, you could add this into a possible inverse strategy. Unless you feel the news that caused the spike was warranted, this is definitely worth watching. Um, so they were up 170%. They're down 9% pre-market. Um, is this a reasonable spot for this to be in? Well, let's look. The last time it spiked like this, it returned down to this $10 mark. It spiked up to 20. I don't know that it comes back down to 10, but maybe 15. There's a line for 15 here. So I mean there's potential there for the inverse. Liberty TripAdvisor holding 51% tear into TripAdvisory. Did again, didn't I? Okay. NTGR Boeing. Yeah. Boeing's down to 189. So yeah, if you guys go to Seeking Alpha, just right here on the side, top gainers from yesterday. And just go through them and see, okay, well, is this a warranted gain? Okay, a 33% gain from $6 to $8. That's not that drastic actually. And they've gone up since. So I think that this one's legit. I wouldn't short it. This one here, fuel cell. Fuel cell went up yesterday 30%, 76 cents. They went from $2 to $3. Um, Not a ton of news. They pushed back their earnings, so it's down 10% pre-market. I think this gives you a feel for what direction people think this is heading in. What's up, Huntress? But yeah, that may be a potential inverse right here. This one wins. $5 a share may not seem like a lot, but yikes, non-compliance. Fed outlook doesn't look good. The world responds. Non-compliance means that they get pulled from the market. Means that they haven't met certain criteria, they haven't made their filings, they haven't done their due diligence as far as keeping investors informed as to what they're doing. Their stock price has fallen below $1, and they can be removed entirely from the Nasdaq. Um, NTGR is not one I've heard of before. Oh yeah, I have. Netgear. I haven't heard this name in a while. Okay, 2609. They beat on their last earnings in April. Next earnings isn't till July. I I'm not super huge into the tech sector, um, so I can't really. Okay, here's what I'll say, Freezer Burn. Why do you like some? Why would you think about something like Netgear versus something like AMD? And I'm not saying there isn't a play here at all. I think there is a huge play on this with 5G. Um, I'm just wondering why Netgear over something like AMD. I think the upside potential on AMD is probably like an $80 stock. Why is a super important question? Okay, that's really good insight actually. Okay, so I think that's something worth looking at. I think that's something worth looking at for sure. Then, if your hypothesis is people are going to upgrade their internet to meet streaming and Zoom demands, okay? Um, so your thought process is, will people return to work, or will people stay remote? Lots of studies to support it. I would say that hypothesis is going to be rewarded, and if you're right, that's there. That is a potential play. I don't know that it has as much room to run, but it's at a better price point. Genus. Okay, so Genus is one that really scares me, guys, and this is one that people dove into in a big way. Big way. I like that. I like that insight, Freezer. I do. I like that insight. I think that there may be something there for you. So Genus is back up pre-market. So their own management's views are that the stock is only worth $1.20. Nope. No, pre-market Genus as of 5:51 a.m. is up 6.2%. But when your own management is saying you're only worth a buck 30 and you're up at 451, yeah, I think there's room to the short side on this. Um, this pump was this pump was absolutely, forget the 10 years. Let's go down to 5 days. 10 days. This pump to 11, this is Robinhood. So if you had at 11 or 10 or 9 taken a short against us, you would have doubled your money. If universities make fall semesters remote learning, after all, housing companies are going to have a rough time getting the leases signed. That's true. So if you're looking at people that own a lot of holdings in university heavy areas like Boston, yeah, I think there's definitely a risk of that. I think I found my first company with any kind of debt. I looked into LLNW 10K and 10Q. Ooh, no debt in a company? Really? LN Lime Limelight Network. Okay, let's go to the big sheet. Pre-market is the big boys trying to move things around. So for me, I don't trade off of that kind of a movement. If you're a day trader, that's something you have to be aware of, but I don't know what to tell you to do with that. If you're trading on the months, price movement pre-market is just an indication of where it could potentially go at the gate. Um, At most, I would say I use pre-market movement to confirm FA. So if I see a headline that says this happened and I'm trying to gauge how the market is interpreting that, I'll go look at the stock pre-market and say, okay, well, how's it moving up or down? And if it's moving up, I can go, okay, so they've interpreted that as good news. I can expect to see this have a rise at the gate and then some profit taking, and then we'll decide where we go from there. I don't enter a position in the first 15 minutes, so yeah, Cisco would be a good one. IBM would be a good one as well. If you're looking at a server play, IBM is a big beast in there that people don't give enough credit to. Okay, so this is interesting. This is 10 days. Let's go to the year. It's up on the year. Let's go to the 10 year. Okay. I want to see, does this stock have a dividend? LNW. Does not pay a dividend. Beat on earnings, beat on revenue. No surprise. July is its next one. Hmm. Hmm. This is a big change. Their CFO is moving up. Well, sideways is moving sideways. And okay, so what do these guys do? Content delivery and related services. Okay, company operates private networks to deliver websites, mobile applications, video music software APIs, offers live and on-demand video delivery services, provides online video platforms that help organizations manage, publish, syndicate, analyze, and monetize video content. Mm, I mean, they're seeing growth. Online video content is going to grow. Okay, so one of my trading rules, guys, and I do recommend you get a trading journal. If you don't have one, get one. This thing is going to be worth its weight in gold. Spend something on it, make it worthwhile, get yourself a nice journal, okay? So this one was given to me as a gift. It holds a little bit of a personal story to it. My other one that I use, they're always leather bound, they're always really nice. My notes go in here, what I'm looking at, why I'm looking at it, what my thoughts are on it, all of it. It just goes in there so that I can refer back to it, and I've got it in there. In there, my trading rules. Why is that important? Why the heck are you talking about a journal? This guy asked about Hertz. I've got a couple of rules that I trade by, okay, guys? I don't get into a position in the first 15 minutes of a market, ever. I don't take a position. I'll exit a position, but I won't take a position. One of the rules that I've got right now is that long equity is what I trade. I do not trade. I'm not an active trader in options. I'm not looking to short sell at the moment with my finances. It's a long equity strategy that I'm trying to build out. Don't trade companies that have committed fraud is on that list. Don't trade companies that are talking about bankruptcy is on that list. Those are rules that I follow. So my opinion on Hertz is it's filing for bankruptcy. It breaks one of my rules. I refuse to trade it. That's my opinion. Now, each of us has to come to our own rules. I'm not saying that people aren't making money on Hertz. And this is one of the retorts that I often get back is, yeah, but look, people are making money on it. It's true. It's very true. But one of the things that has me even more concerned is they've received notice of being delisting, not a warning of delisting, notice of delisting, and they're trying to challenge it. And Hertz's challenge on the delisting is so their argument against delisting has been, well, look, our stock is recovering so nicely, we'll be okay, right? So when they received the delisting notice at the start of the week, they went, no, but look, our stock is performing quite well. Why would you delist us? We're doing just fine. Well, yeah, we're still good. They were down 40% yesterday. They're down another 20% today. There's a reason why George Icahn got out of his position in this, and it's because it is a giant steaming pile of dog turd, in my opinion. Just in my humble opinion. Um, um, I, I mean, I have spreadsheets that I've put together in the past, but for me, I don't really. I just use my brokerage statement. Um, as far as forecasting profits or gains, let me close down my trading dashboard and see if I reload it, if I can get my holdings up. Because I'll show you guys my portfolio and I'll show you the performance for the year on it. Yuck. Okay. Oh, please no. Please no, guys. You're better than that. You're better than that. All right. So here's my current portfolio, guys. This portfolio started at 3,000 start of the year, so January 3 grand. Currently, the value is up to, well, book cost is 27. The current value is 24, 246. With a large amount of holdings. So we're seeing a decent gain here. Um, ACRX is the largest position by far. Half the portfolio is in there. MFA, MBRX, and SLRX make up the rest. MFA is one that I'm fine with its position on where it's going to move up or down. I'm confident that this is going to go back up. I'm confident for the price movement on MBRX and SLRX. So all across the board, the things that I've got holdings in, I'm fairly confident with. The only ones that I'm a little bit iffy on are these memes that I took. CBDY is a meme. I was making fun of the people that buy pot stocks, and I was like, here, I'll just buy this one because it's a pot stock and it's in Colorado. Here it is. But this was a meme. This is joke money. SEV, that's another one. This was like, oh yeah, graphene, that's a huge thing. And then iPix is an outlier COVID play. If it pays out, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. This isn't a huge deal, but this was the risk reward on this was too much for me to give up. If this got the COVID designation, because it was seriously being looked at, and it could still, the stock goes from being 15 cents to being $15, which would be massive. So um, Trading View was the one that I was using for the paper account, just because I just wanted something simple to do a paper account with, and Trading View provides that. So Trading View, if you're logged in and you go to your chart, down at the bottom you'll see this paper trading. You can just select it. It'll show you all the different positions. MFA doesn't feel bad. I'm okay with MFA. So this is it. Like people often ask me like, okay, how can you possibly diamond hand something? How can you how can you stay so calm when you see a stock go from up here at 280 down to 240? How can you just be like, okay, well, the reality is I'm not looking at the day, right? People have to get their eyes off of the day. Unless you're a day trader. If you're a day trader, keep your eyes on the day. But for me, I'm not a day trader. This is what I'm looking at. I look at the year, even the 6 months. I look at the 6 months. You tell me on the 6 months, what do we see? We see COVID happened and it bounced back like the rest, and then it's just kind of stayed stable. And it goes up and then it came down. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Why? Because yesterday, the only positive news that we took out of Powell's talk was that they are going to continue to flow money into mortgage-backed securities, and MFA has tons of agency mortgage-backed securities. So the government is going to continue to prop them up. MFA over and over again is getting forbearance. Honestly, guys, this is where we're going. It's a question of when, not if. Question of when. So DGLY was a play that I put out. It's outside of my sector. But DGLY, they sell body cams, dashboard cams, and tasers, non-lethal enforcement. I think those are all tools that are going to be needed in the near future. Now, that being said, guys, if I go out the year, this is the last peak here. I would say this is worth probably 350 right now. Ballpark 350. So is it overvalued right now? Yes, but we're still in the midst of riots, so I don't know that I would bet against it into the riots. And I think we only see riots escalating into the elections. So I think DGLY is pretty solid at this level for now. I don't really see it moving one way or the other in any time, any near time frame anyway. Um, so let's see what's happening here. Apple, WFC, Nicola's gone green. We getting a day of Nikola from Tesla or from Robinhood? Is that what we're about to see here? From here to just trying to move some funds over here. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so if you're going to play Sony, you're playing Sony on the PS5 announcement news. I don't know that we're going to see anything really mind blowing unless they drop a price that's shocking. Yeah, unless we see something shocking where Sony comes out and they say, okay, well, yeah, we're gonna sell this thing for $300 instead of 500. Like that would blow minds, I think. But otherwise, I don't see people really. I just don't see that huge shift happening as a result of it. All right, what else we got here? Top news. All right, let's take a look at some of this stuff. Is the monster rise in equities in such a short time unprecedented? What we're looking at here, guys, is a comparison between the 1929 charts and the 2020 charts. So nearly 100 years apart, and this is what we're seeing. Look familiar? Lufthansa gets a huge bailout from Germany, and then they cut 22,000 jobs. So that's good for their bottom line. PS5 for $1,000. So what happens is they'll all get bought up, and then you will have to pay $1,000 for it on the market. 2 seconds, guys. I'll be right back. 6:30. All right. Yeah, airlines. This is it. I mean, this is where this DVD trader guy got burned. So, guys, when I do my analysis, I do like to pair my analysis with um, some real world insights. Okay, who here is stoked about getting onto a plane? So, first of all, going to an airport shoved with thousands of people. You don't know where they're from. You don't know what kind of vaccinations they've had or haven't had, or what their illness looks like, whether they've contracted it before or not. That sounds like a good time for a lot of people here. Maybe for some. Maybe for some, you're like, it doesn't really matter. No, Techie, I don't play inverse right now. My portfolio is long equity. That's it. That's why the inverse strategy is being tried out in the paper trading, because I would have to create a separate account for that. I will open a short selling account specifically to trade the inverses. Yeah, I mean that's it. If you want to kick the bucket, then yeah, maybe. And then on top of that, it's not just going to the airport, right? It's then getting shoved into a tiny little coffin, 9,000 feet in the air, right? Dude's the only guy on the plane. But even if you're the only one on the plane, guys, like, look, does that look like 6 feet apart? There's no way. Yeah, I mean, if you think that you're immune, if you think that you've already had it, or you think that you're young enough and healthy enough that your immune system can fight it off, um, I mean, the air filters on planes are pretty. We're not talking like cruise ships, and this is one of the big things. Filtrations on planes are HEPA filters versus cruise lines that don't really do anything. Yeah, I think what we see is small providers and private flights. So companies like Ryanair, Porter, um, JetBlue on some of their airlines. I think smaller flights with less passengers um, is going to happen. I don't think we ever see. Well, I can't say ever. I don't think in the near future. I don't think in the next 5 years we see these jumbo jets filled with 600 people. I don't. I also think that how many people saw the movie Up in the Air with George Clooney? I think we see this happen. Sometimes I bet you send me the weirdest stuff. A big sell off during open. So you're looking for a play on the day. Let's take a look at where the spy should be. Spy right now, 313. I don't know if we see a sell off at open. I think we've seen a sell off before open. I think this 313 level is going to be pretty stable for the day, and then we'll see what happens. Now, today is Thursday. Um, so, what we do have, guys, if you're not using this tool, this is one that you want to use. It's a China play, man. You know I'm not interested in any of those China plays. It's a China play. I'm not interested. So Thursday, guys, we've got initial jobless claims coming out today, so that'll be big. That may be a positive day for the market. So, let's see. Somebody, chopsticks. You were asking about market direction. If these jobless numbers come in better than expected, consensus is 1.5 million. If we come in below 1.5 million, I think we're going to see a nice day. I think we're going to see a pretty nice day. Now, if they don't, this is a big drop here, like 1.8 million to 1.5 million. So from consensus to previous, it's 300,000 jobs. So if we can beat this, if we can beat this consensus, that's very ambitious. I think the market's going to like that a lot. It's going to like it a lot, and that's at 7:30. We see those come in. So, but yeah, the up in the air thing is going to happen. Companies that used to fly people around everywhere to do everything, they're going to stop. Do it remotely. Do it by Zoom. You don't need to fly out there. Mitsubishi might be looking at an electric vehicle. Um, yeah, I mean, Uh, I'm not big into that conspiracy theory stuff. Powell's a pretty decent dude. He's trying his best to make the best of a bad situation. I yeah. Um, I'm a big fan of GameStop into Q4, guys. I'm gonna let it decline now. Through Q3, I think we see it decline. But I'll look for an entry headed into Q4 for sure. Um, Zoom is overvalued anyhow. Not all chopsticks. Hope that helps. Zoom ties to China are under the microscope after a ban a group of prominent US-based Chinese activists following a video conference. Okay, so I mean, this is not a big deal. This is not a big deal. So, uh, US-based Chinese activists were having a conference regarding Tiananmen Square. Okay, this conversation went through Chinese servers, which resulted in the accounts being closed. As much as people think that China is a democracy, they are wrong. It is still a communist country. Techie, shoot me the article. I'd love to do a deep dive into that. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'd love to do a deep dive into it. Typically, they pay quite a few people at the Fed to get those numbers right. So I would love to see an article showing that. Um, yeah, so you can't talk about things like Tiananmen Square. You can't talk negatively about the Chinese government on social media in China. It won't go well. And people will say, well, Zoom's private accounts. Well, I mean, there's nothing private. Yep. No, no marbles. That's wrong stream. What I do here is try to teach you guys how to get ready for the market. When the market opens and you guys get bored, you guys can go play marbles with Stocky. But yeah, here I don't do marbles. If you catch me during the day, I mean, I it's not that we're more intellectual. Yeah, it's a force of habit. It's all good. If you catch me ever streaming during the day when Stocky takes a day off, I'll do marbles then because I get it. Like during the market all day, you need something to get you through. But yeah, not right now. I'm looking for some movement here. There's nothing that's really. I mean, this Jafin thing is going, but other than that, there's not. Normally, we see something. I guess everybody's just kind of waiting. What's Sony looking like? Not even Sony's moving with the PlayStation announcement today. Like this is perturbing. And I mean, I hope it helps. Spy 290. What? No, you lie. Spy 313. What are you doing, Freezer Burn? What are you doing? Oh, that would have been scary. I'm literally like I got shivers up my back. I thought you were being serious there. Oh, that would be brutal. That would be absolutely brutal. So even Tesla's giving it back. Tesla's down from 1,025 to 1,000, but it looks like it's keeping this 1,000 line at least. Um, SLRX, MBRX are kind of just doing nothing. ATRX has more to the upside than the downside. This Westport thing, I think, is my favorite for the day. If they get that approval, I mean, they're beating on earnings. They're doing well with that stuff, guys. But that they have a massive China deal that everything's already in for. They're just waiting for China to approve. Chinese autos taking off. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. So Nikola is about the pump. No, they've got a new pipeline coming. So with Starlink, with SpaceX, with and I know those aren't publicly traded guys, but people just see Tesla when they see that. So when those things go up, you've got the 18 wheelers coming out. You've got their F-150 coming out. They've got enough product coming out that that's going to be serious, and then they've got approval in China to be starting the Model E, so Model 3. I think Tesla will be just fine. Now Nikola is one that is due for a serious wake up call here, guys. Um, Neo is not one that I would ever trade just because it is a China based stock, but uh, yeah, we're expecting that to fall today on the announcement of 72 million shares at a lower price than where it's at. So, for those of you that were here at 435, we expect I had called a drop on Neo based off of this. 595 is what they're looking at. Expect it to go to that. It's not shaking. It's that they've thrown 72 million shares into the market at a 595. So that's why Neo's declining. But Nikola, pre-market they're down 2. They were down 18 before that. Um, so one of the things that Martini showed us the other day with Nikola was that you can actually check the warrants and see what the warrants are doing on Nikola to get a feel for what exactly it's going to do. And if people continue to exercise warrants, what we're going to see is what we're going to see is a decrease in the price. So as nickel warrants get exercised, we're going to see more and more Nikola dollars fall into the ashes. Um, this has got to come back down to here. It's not. It's not this. It's not. It took Tesla years to get up to that level. Years and years and years. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to take a look at the data. Warrants have the right to execute in order to purchase stocks. So it's not that you own a stock directly; it's that you have the right to purchase a stock at a certain price. But when warrants get exercised, what happens is you've got a flood of new shares in the market all of a sudden, and that can dilute the stock price, right? So if you're looking at market cap is current price by number of shares in the market. If the price stays the same and you increase the amount of shares, the market cap drops. If the price goes up and you introduce new shares and it goes up again, Well, the price will stay the same or possibly increase. The market cap will. So similar to options, but different. Uh, Similar but different. So with the options, you're looking to buy a stock at a certain price at a certain date. And I know for options traders, it's like, no, we just buy and sell options. Like, okay, great. But the reality is, your options trading is more about um, exercising for the purpose of buying stock. But it's in the future, right? It's a future play. This is more like, currently I want to hold an asset that isn't an option that could be worth nothing. So these people that have nickel warrants, they're holding them at a certain price. Check out the scanners here and see what they're popping up. Northern Dynasty, Nova Gold, Silvers, Metals, Matinas Biopharma's down, Gold's doing quite well. I've played around with options a little bit. I'm just a bigger fan of having equity. So if the stock doesn't do what I want it to do, I still hold something with equity. In options, if the stock doesn't do what you want, if the option doesn't do what you want it to do, it's gone. It's gone. Yep. Same. It's like, what have I done? What have I done? I don't understand what I've done. This is why you should never trade a financial instrument that you do not understand. Okay, starting to get some news in here, slow and steady. Beyond's gonna have a good day. I prefer to trade cash. I prefer to trade cash. Trade what you own. Once you get a big enough and you've got some ability to understand the inherent risk with leverage trading, it's a possibility. But for most people that are in this chat, for most people that are trading and are new to the market, do not get into that. And that's not financial advice. That's my opinion. My opinion is stay in cash. Stay in cash. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I just heard about this better Twitch TV thing. I'm completely unfamiliar with what it is. Um, hmm. All right, guys. If anybody has anything else you guys want me to take a look at before I head out of here, let's do that now. Otherwise, I'm probably going to pack this up and go have a coffee and get ready for the market to open. So JNUG is a 3x leverage. A 3x leverage vehicle like that can be really great for you, but it can also completely destroy your portfolio like that. So one of the ones that I was in, which really put me against the leverage holdings, is HOU. HOU is this was a 2x leverage on Canadian crude bull, 2x bull. Um, JNUG is a I don't know that JNUG is leveraged. Oh, it is. Yeah, so gold miners. It's a 3x junior gold miners bull. So it means that for all of the holdings that it has there, if those holdings go up one, you go up three. But if they go down one, you go down three. That's where the 3x leverage comes in. So JNUG is there. What do I think about Hertz? I think Hertz is a bankrupt company going bankrupt, and they're about to be delisted. I would say as far away from Hertz as you can, and that's my opinion, not my financial advice. Yes. So fries with box. Martini Rita and I. Shout out to Martini Rita, guys. If you don't know her, you should definitely go check her out. She streams at the end of the market. Um, but I really think you guys should go check her out. She and I have been working on something we call the global ruralization theory, so GRT. Um, And the concept is that COVID will drive people away from urban centers, both with the rioting and the protests and with the COVID infection rate. It will drive people out, and we will see suburbia see this new influx of people, and that will drive the people in suburbia further out. And what we'll see is this flattening. So if you almost consider what we have now as a model where you've got you've got a peak, right? So you've got like a mountain here. Uh, Instead, picture somebody pushing down on that mountain and it kind of flattening out and moving further away. That's kind of what's going to happen. So instead of having this massive peak like this, it's going to level out like this. And really, like it's literally this. That's what we're predicting happening. Home Depot is a nice one. Wayfair would be a big one. Zoom is going to continue to be a value. There's lots of different options in that play, but yeah, um, yeah. All right, ladies, gentlemen, it has been fantastic hanging out with you today. Please stay safe out in the market. If you guys missed the start of the broadcast, I do always do a rerun so you guys can catch what we looked at earlier. I get a breakdown on what happened. Thank you so much to everybody that subbed and followed today. I know I got to get better at giving you guys shout outs as that happens, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm still learning the stream thing. Huge thank you to everybody who showed up and did that though. I will catch you guys tomorrow morning, 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take it easy.